So this is a situation where you have a child that's not only potentially being exploited, but is in some ways a missing child because looking at the situation, you have two wanted fugitives. She's with her parents, but they are wanted fugitive parents. So law enforcement, for instance, in this country would be child welfare would be looking for that child and wanting to evaluate the conditions the child was being put in. So, and that there would be an alert out. Anybody that's ever done that type of work in a smaller capacity, like I've been a case manager, and you'll get alerts about children that they might possibly be seen in your state, and they've been in another state, and they'll give you the lowdown on what all has gone on, and if you see them, who you're supposed to contact, and all of that kind of stuff. So, and that's on a much smaller scale of child abuse than what might be going on here. So, that being said, um, reporting it when you don't know where the people are becomes tricky. So the FBI, for example, they don't have any investigative jurisdiction outside of our country, but they will work with international authorities. They'll work with the Department of State, Interpol. There's like this legal attaché program where they investigate international child cases. They'll investigate kidnappings involving children 12 years old and younger. So they'll monitor also other situations that don't involve interstate travel, so they don't ever have to have been in this country. The way I'm trying to tie it in with the FBI would be that the social media entity is in the United States, providing the means for this person to exploit this child, to raise funds, um, for doing things to the child in the Netherlands, to be able to continue to hide and live with this child who is potentially in danger. So one thing that's interesting that I was kind of thinking of is if you're a mandated reporter, like if you work in some capacity, like teaching or therapist and people like that, and in my case it would be I maintain my substitute teaching license, so teachers are mandated reporters. The laws are different in different states. So like some states, you're a mandated reporter only when you're on the clock. So like if you're not witnessing something while you're in the duties of your job, you're not required to report. But in other places, it's at any time. You're always a mandated reporter. And then in other states, they just expect anybody who sees something suspicious to say something. So it all depends. But in this case, I thought it was just worth a try because it's just an avenue to get this in front of somebody else's face and get somebody that looks into specifically this type of thing to scratch their head and wonder if there's a child being abused or two children. So uh, basically, a report, even if it's not required, uh, because a person who's a mandated reporter is witnessing something when they're not acting in the scope of some official or professional capacity, they could still make a report if they wish, is what most websites say. So I thought because the social media company is based in California, using their penal code, I would fill out some of these forms related to that and explaining the situation and send that to them and then send a copy to the social media companies as just yet another way to try to get their attention. So I was assuming that the citizenship of the child, if both parents would have citizenship in Germany, because I believe Gaddis, even though he's Latvian, he went to live in Germany. I don't know if he had citizenship there or anything, but and Marina, I'm pretty sure she had dual between Kazakhstan and Germany. But in Europe, the laws are a little bit different than I knew. Automatic citizenship for a child isn't granted if at least one parent is a citizen. It's not just automatically granted. So they have to like reside in the country for a certain period of time before the child is born. And like only 10 allow citizenship by birthright to foreign parents. And there's like sort of strict requirements. So I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that yet, but um, I'm still going to approach since they were wanted in Germany, German authorities about the child and Kazakhstan as well, especially since they just passed some laws, pretty strict ones about exploitation of children, sex and human trafficking type of stuff, touching on what might be going on here. So subpoenaing is the thing that the entities already, looking for these people like Judge Adiaman in District Court 12, and the people prosecuting Alias. And, I don't understand why they haven't done this, but there are ways for lay people to do it. But generally speaking, the only way that a person without an attorney could subpoena a social media company for information on someone would be if they filed a lawsuit. So firstly, you'd have to file a lawsuit of some sort about something, and then they would need to file an answer. So you really would need to like provide service on these people, and that's the problem. Of course, we don't know where they are. Now, sometimes that can be done by publication, and the judge would go ahead and sign off on it. And then after you do all that, you can go and get your subpoena. But what would I be suing them for? Making me sick? I could technically do that. I mean, I do find, you know, knowing that people like this exist very disgusting. I could say I'm very disgusted and it's interrupted my appetite or something. But I don't know. That avenue just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. But once again, anybody scammed by him could try to file the Rule 45 civil lawsuit by way of legal aid services. I mean, don't pay for it. Um, and it would cost between like $50 and $250 to file a civil lawsuit on these people. And you can do it anonymously, if you fear retaliation. There's specific laws about that. But even at that, most people, knowing what these people are, they're just not going to want to risk it. They're not going to want to, deal with it. And that's why nobody has done that. I don't believe anybody has yet. So, and that's why I haven't done it, just to be honest, is I can't find a way by which it makes sense for me to be suing them. And I know that it would be complicated to even be able to do it. Um, it really just, I can't understand why the criminal law entities are not approaching social media, since these people are on social media. I mean, I saw a case where a guy stole some stuff, some jewelry in his car or something, and he started posting pictures of it on Facebook, and they, went and arrested him. They can't seem to care about this guy raising money on social media who's wanted for murder. It's just crazy. But anyway, that's the deal with that. I can't really come up with a way to civilly sue the guy. Hair trauma, I'm traumatized by, and maybe I have bad dreams about his wigs. I just don't know.
Teachings on sex. My Little Fish. Now, your father described that as a routine publication. That entails graphic sex.
Who had this? They're not having sex, they're just kissing and hugging in bed. That's not sex.
April is very upset that 2020 has obtained a copy of My Little Fish. Ex-members tell us the cult leaders say it should be kept secret.
If you show it to other people, they don't understand. That stuff's not supposed to be publicized. So many people think sex is wrong. So many people hate us. But we just telling them the truth. We're just telling them it's not wrong. We're just telling them that there's nothing wrong with it. And here comes these publicizers showing them to everybody, making everybody think it's wrong.
This is printed and circulated, though.
Well, why do you need it? You don't need it.
It's not a private doc. It's printed and widely circulated around the world.
You're not supposed to have it.